Okay, so we're going to talk about using Adobe Illustrator art to bring into Dreamweaver for your graphics and sort of prepping Illustrator art. The purpose of this is not to go through a tutorial of Illustrator, so the assumption here is that you know how to work at least minimally inside of Illustrator. So I whipped together very, very quickly a fast sort of logo for my website just to sort of demo what we're going to do. And in all the Adobe products, if you go in any file, you're going to see the Save for Web command. So we're going to go ahead and use the Save for Web. And in this case, I have it set for a 2-up preview. You could have it set for a 4-up preview because I want to look at the original artwork and then I'm going to compare it to basically PNG. The majority of the time when we're working with Adobe Illustrator, the PNG file is going to be what we want to use. It's going to be the default file format if you're going to use transparency. It used to be GIF, but PNG does a much better job with transparency than GIF does, so PNG is sort of the current recommendation. So on the left you see your Illustrator file, and this is how it would appear inside Adobe Illustrator. You know that there's transparencies by the sort of checkerboard grid in the back. And on the right you see how it currently is set to look. Now you'll notice that there's white pixels in the background. What if I want transparency in this background? What if I want the letters to be against maybe a yellow background or a green background in my website? But I don't want to have those white pixels. I want to have some degree of transparency. So that's our first scenario that we're going to explore, is working with transparency. In the Save for Web dialog, in the upper right, you'll see that there's a button that says Transparency. You want to go ahead and click it. And you'll see what it does is it imitates really what our artwork looks like inside of Adobe Illustrator. Now there are different PNG settings that you can try and use. There's the PNG 8, which you see doesn't afford us quite as smooth, I should say, the 8-bit versus the 24-bit. So this really isn't going to be sufficient for us. What you need to do as a visual designer is make that assessment. And that assessment is always going to be size of the file versus the loading time that it's going to take. And I could see here this is about a 5K file, so that's not very big at all, this PNG 8. I'm going to move it up to the PNG 24. And we have the transparency selected. I can see it's a very manageable 24K file. So we're going to go ahead and click Save. I'm going to click on Save here. And then what we want to do is we want to save it into the Assets folder. Now this Assets folder is not the correct one. It's for a different website that I'm working on. So I want to click on Desktop to get back to the desktop here. And I want to go to our root. And then I want to go inside this Assets. Okay, and this is what we want to save the file under. And I'm going to call it Logo. This particular image is just an image only, so that's really our only option for saving it. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Now we're going to switch over to Dreamweaver, and this is one of the Dreamweaver layouts. I'm going to delete this box from the top, and I want to insert my logo inside that space. So I've got the cursor on the left flashing. I'm going to go to the Insert Common, and I'm going to scroll down till I get to Images. And this time I don't want an image placeholder. I want to use an actual image. So I'm going to click on the little arrow and get to Image. And select Assets, Logo PNG, click Open. Call it Logo for alt text. And you see the Webco logo, in this case with the transparent background.